Brian here back at Blue Water Marine. Today we're going to be demonstrating a lower unit rebuild kit. This so happens to be on a Minn Kota Ultrex. It's got a dead spot in the armature and it's stopping at certain points and you gotta hit it with your hand to get it started. We sell all the parts to do this rebuild kit. On this one we do sell a rebuild kit. It comes with the armature. It'll come with all this minus the bolts and plates. When we do one in the shop, we always add this just because it's already comes with the seals and your brass piece there. That way takes a lot of the labor out of having to drive them out, and then you're making sure that this is new and seals properly. You don't have to do that. You can knock your seals out, which is provided in our kit. But you always want to make sure too that this brass piece isn't wore out as well. So it's kind of like, we just go ahead and replace it. I think it's like close to $20 for this 4-inch one. It just makes it nice and simple, and you're ensuring you've got all new pieces here. So we'll get started. We do here in the shop like to take them off. That way we can lay them on our bench and work with it easier. I've seen guys repair them still in the motor. It makes it a little tougher. It's really your choice, but we do take the whole shaft and lower unit off your motor and do it on our workbench. So we'll start here. You've got these 2 long bolts. This is what holds the 2 pieces together, and it's held by a 8mm. And what you'll find on a lot of your lower units is once you crack these, sometimes you're going to find water presence if you've got fish in line or so forth, or a seals went bad on you. Don't think we're going to experience water with this one, but I'll never be surprised. So once you see the back housing is going to start coming apart here. And we do replace these. As you can see, they get bent. You don't have, it's not a have to, but here at the shop we do. So now we've got those 2. Now, all we've got to do is take this back housing here. We do got a little water presence. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think it's from these front seals because that one was missing. It's in there. So we've got a little water. It's not terrible on this one. A little bit, just something you want to clean up. So once I've got that, I'll disengage that where the bearing sits. And then your best thing to do is pull this armature out the back like that. You can see that armature's pretty wore there. All the corrosion. So that one is no longer no good. So now we've got that apart. I'm gonna pull this apart. So as you can see here, that clip holds your wires in. I am gonna pull it out with some needle nose. That way I can get this front cap loose. I'll just pull up that way. So now you can watch the wires up there. There we go. So we've got the room we need. So if you look in here, we do have some corrosion. A little bit of water moisture. So we're going to clean that out really well. These are same 8mm. I'm gonna go ahead and take the brush plate off that so I can. Just 2 screws, which are provided in our rebuild kit. Yeah, I'll watch that still. Yeah, make sure that our kits don't come with them. These two, they'll actually be on the end of the armature. They go like this. Your metal one goes like so, and then your plastic one will go like that. Make sure you get them back because it will affect your functionality of your armature. So as you can see in here, there's a little debris. Find some WD-40. Just try to get everything out that you can. You want to make sure that you're beveled. Got 2 beveled washers in here. So this one was, like I said, it had been priorly rebuilt. So it did end up having 2 of those washers, beveled washers. If yours don't, as you can see, they're concaved. So you want them to set like that. It's kind of like makes a spring. And then they'll set in here first around the little pin there. And then you'll have this, just came out. We're just replacing it, but usually they don't have to be replaced. Just make sure they're not missing. And I will put a little grease here because this is where your bearing is gonna sit. Then press that through, like so. So we've got that all cleaned up. That's gonna be ready to go. So now, this is where I like it, using the front plate because we don't have to worry about driving these bushings out and bearing that bushing and these seals out. So we're gonna take our brush plate. We're gonna install it like so. You're gonna have that washer there, or the spacer. And you do got to remember that you have a ground, but I like to get these set first. Make sure it's snug. And you want your ground on this one. actually the ground for your transducer. It's supposed to keep interference out. Keeps it grounded to the motor. So now what I'll do is I always use this as a template to rebuild it back the way it was. I'll set the spring right now the way it's supposed to be, but I'll show you here in just a bit that we're gonna reposition that spring. So you can see it goes, cocks back like that. It sets in that groove when it's complete, but that's just for the time being. We will end up repositioning that. Let me get some pliers. So these are actually soldered, so we are gonna actually have to replace the wires on it. Now we've got those through, we can hook them up. Right there's how we'll hook it up. And then you want to test set that and pull your wires. That way there's no slack. And then you've got to reset this. And what you're looking for here, you'll want to split these wires up. One will go on one side and the other like that. And that keeps it from, I have to pull some more slack out. Best thing to do is pull them up like so, and then I'll set this once I've got it. Crack it just a little bit, make sure they're feeding. Like I said, one's got to go. You gotta be very careful to not clip your wires. As you can see, right here, the wires will look like that with very minimum hanging out. So we got to replace this seal. I'll take a little WD, clean up real good around that. Just remember, cleaning is everything when you messing with water. You don't want any debris to cause this thing not to seal correctly. A little grease on it. Then expand it over and set it in the groove. Of course, this one's new, but always just make sure there's no debris where you've been. Just coat it with grease real good. here and messing with the grease, I'll go ahead and take my new bolts. Just slide them on like so. So here's the part I was talking about with the springs. So they're in their groove, but we're about to slide this armature through the back. So in order to get that armature through, these springs have to be up. So what you're gonna wanna do, you're gonna prise that spring and let it rest. You wanna let it rest right there. You gotta be careful, because if you knock it off farther, then it falls off and you gotta reset the spring totally. So I'll take a little flat tip, do that, like that. And then, so what you're gonna do now, we're going to be careful, this has a lot of pressure, and slowly set it. And then you're gonna watch it go in. And then sometimes even with them springs up, like right here, I'm gonna have to prise on that one. Have to have 2 screwdrivers that way. I can prise on both at the same time. If you do have a hand to help, this is a good time for them to push the armature on up. All right, my camera guy has helped me push the armature up, so you can see it's setting in the brushes. This is when we're gonna clip those back like they're supposed to be. And that one done it on its own. And our seal came off. That's all right. So now I'm gonna set this back housing like so. Now this is where it gets tricky, is aligning for your screws. So you're kind of eyeballing it. It can be very tricky to get them lined up. To get started, always check your alignment of your fin and your transducer. And then there is a torque spec on these. Just 30 inch-pounds. And I'll bump it on up to 35s. Just to make sure. Got So, as you can see, that is a armature rebuild kit. All the parts you've seen in this video can be found on our website. I'll have the link to our website below. I'll also have a list of all the part numbers used on this one. This is a 45-inch shaft, Ultrex. But every part for a rebuild that we use today can be found on our website. It's not that hard. I mean, I highly suggest taking it off the motor. As you can see, it is a struggle a little bit, and if you do have an extra hand with a friend or family, it does help tremendously on this, just because of the nature of the repair. If you don't care, drop us a subscribe and a comment, and looking forward to doing business with you. If you got any questions, please check out our website and give us a call. Our phone number is posted on our website. Thanks very much for Blue Water Marine.